All right, this video is going to speak to a very specific type of person. All right, so it might not make much sense to a certain group of people, but I can guarantee a lot of you guys are probably in this position and are thinking and operating under this mental framework that I'm going to be walking through. So the group that I'm referring to here is if you're someone who is in the make money online world, like you're kind of doing it, you kind of started whatever type of business model you're looking to do, but you still just look at all the other people who are crushing it in whatever niche or industry you're in. You just refuse to believe the fact that you probably know everything that they know, right? Like you're looking up at them and it's like they have to know something that I don't because it's working at an extraordinary level for them. And it's like kind of working for me. And this is like the point I kind of want to get across in this video is if you're someone who knows all the online business models, like you know the TikTok shop, copywriting, high ticket sales, growth operating, SaaS, marketing agencies. Like if you know all of those exist, you know like how they work. And more importantly, you know the big names and people that are attached to these business models, and you watch all their videos and you like consume their content on a daily or weekly basis. You absolutely know everything that you need to get in the game. You know, once you're, I guess, in the game, you're trying different business models, you understand how they work, you start to realize that there's only like so much you can do within every single one. Like you're in this world, right? And it is like its own separate world. If I go out and I ask literally any of my friends, like if I'm like, hey, like, yeah, do you know anything about TikTok shop? Or like, have you tried copywriting? Have you tried growth operating? Like they're actually going to have no idea what I'm talking about. They don't know anything about them, right? So if you're in a position where like, you know, all of these exist, you know, like how they work, you're kind of just going back and forth on which one you kind of want to commit to, or maybe you're trying like all of them a little bit. They're all, honestly, a lot of them are kind of the same thing. I'll kind of get into that in a little bit. Because at the end of the day, you're just partnering with either a business or a creator, and you're helping them make more money. And that's how you make money in this internet marketing world. If you know that it exists and you know how it operates, you are way ahead of everybody else. Because it's going to seem like everybody's doing it. It's going to seem like each business model is super saturated. But, you know, and all the things that people say, like, yeah, as cliches, it sounds like, oh, it's never saturated. Like, if it works for him, it's going to work for you. Like, you probably hear that and you're like, like there's still, there's just something in the back of your mind where it's like, he's just doing something differently. But literally the only difference is that that person has accepted the fact that if it works for somebody else, it will work for you. Like this is what I talk about all the time when I'm talking about like TikTok shop videos. You know, it's like if one common theme is working for a product for tons of creators, like it will work for you. It's just a matter of time. Like it's probably not going to work on the first video or the 10th or maybe even the 20th. But if you keep just replicating that framework, something will hit. And then once it hits, then it's a completely different game. Because the only difference between a lot of the time you and creators who are making tens of thousands on TikTok is that they've had one or more viral videos. There's only so much information out there. You already know, if you're still with me here, like if you're like, okay, this makes sense. Like I've been watching, 10 YouTubers explain how they do the different business models, and I understand it. I know how it works. Like what they're saying in the videos, that's all there is to know. Even I find myself making videos on like the same, it seems kind of repetitive a lot of the time, but I'm like, there's only so much to talk about. There's only so much you can do within each business model. It just comes down to doing like way more volume than you thought was necessary when you got into the space, right? Like if you're a TikTok shop affiliate, you probably know like the viral frameworks, you know what's working, you know the best products, but you just like, you haven't posted hundreds of videos yet. Or if you're like a copywriter or a growth operator and you're reaching out to clients, like you probably know there's not some secret subject line or secret cold email script to go out and land these clients. Like it's just going to be a little bit different for everyone, but you already know like what you have to do, like 100%. You know that you have to either send more cold emails, more cold DMs, you got to make content, organic content yourself, or you got to run ads. Like there's only so many ways that you can go about getting clients and then delivering clients results. I think there are honestly a decent amount of crossovers between the corporate world, how you would go out and how you would find a job and, get interviews and stuff like that. Like getting interviews is basically just getting on sales calls. The crossovers there are like, okay, to give yourself the highest probability of getting a lot of interviews and maybe getting a good job is to, apply to a bunch of jobs, reach out to the company owners, like send them emails, reach out to them on LinkedIn. There's only so many things you can do, but it's never going to be the same for one person. The starting point for everyone, this is kind of how I was thinking about like the corporate route or the internet money route. Like the starting point is going to be the same. Like if you want to go out and you want to find a job or find a client, you're going to have to start applying to jobs and reaching out to the hiring managers. And if you're on this side, you're going to have to start cold outreach and you're going to have to start reaching out to business owners. Now, once you hit those two steps, that's where it starts to like get a little sloppy, honestly. Like it starts to get a little all over the place because if you just keep going like down a line that you think exists, it's not going to work because there isn't a line. Like there's not like a perfect response. Like at that point, you just become fucking AI. You could just have ChatGPT but it's, I don't know. That's just not how I see it working. Like it's always, when you see people in good jobs, it's like they got it in a unique way. Like, yeah, they applied to a bunch of jobs. They met with a bunch of hiring managers, but they ended up meeting a connection after 3 months and then they got introduced to this one. And it is the same on the internet route, but that opportunity won't present itself until you're in the game, right? You're not going to get a pass ripping through center ice or sitting back door right in the slot if you're not there. Like you got to be sitting there. You're going to start breaking out more hockey references. Stick on the ice, boys. Fucking boom, boom. Got to be on the ice. Whatever business model you're doing online, to give yourself the best chance of landing good clients is to send a bunch of cold emails to business owners, network with other people online and send DMs to businesses or, make content. That's the one advantage that we have in like the internet money world, that you can actually get like inbound leads from just making content around the business model that you want to pursue. Like if you're going out and you're posting, videos, you're probably not going to get corporate companies reaching out and be like, hey, we want to hire you for our entry level, business development role, right? But if you're making a bunch of content on like TikTok, or say you have like a software, you're doing like high level SaaS, right? So you're reselling high level and all the different features within there. If you start making organic content on all of the different features, showing people how they work, showing like different funnels and different websites and everything you're building out within your software, that's going to attract people who are actively looking for it. And then they're going to be like, oh, like shit, this is something that could work for me. I don't think enough people take advantage of that opportunity, given it is like, it's not easy to go out and make YouTube videos consistently, right? But it is certainly a very highly levered play that you can make, just constantly posting organic content around whatever you're trying to do, and then that audience will naturally find you. So I definitely recommend doing that. That's probably the best way to go about it, but it's going to take a little bit to build up an audience. So if you're doing like cold outreach, there really is no magic email script to use or cold call script to use. Like you kind of just gotta, you can see what like other people are doing, but if like for me, if I get 10 messages and most of them are always the same, like the way that people structure outreach is like all the same. So you kind of want to stand out and be like unique. And the only way to do that is to just think of it yourself, right? Like this is where you kind of got to be a little creative when you're going in. Like, okay, to get a job, got to apply for jobs. You got to reach out to the business owners, reach out to the hiring managers. If you just apply to a job, you could apply to literally 100 and send 100 messages being like, oh, I'm super thrilled for the opportunity to grow with this company long term. All that shit. They see that all the time. So on the other side of it, like if you're looking out and you're pitching clients, like if you're just sending exactly word for word what everybody else is sending because you think that's what you have to do, it's just not going to work as well. It would work better if you just DM them and they were like, yo, literally just, going back to how all the businesses are like, not all of them, but a lot of them are kind of the same. Like if you're a marketing agency or a copywriter or you're a growth operator, at the end of the day, you can call it whatever you want, but you're partnering with either a business or a creator and you're helping them generate more leads or make more money. So it's like, all right, there's only so many ways to go about doing that, right? Like, all these crazy marketing agencies, it's like, they're either making organic content, they're writing emails, they're building websites, they're running ads. Like there's only so much you can do. Usually when there's people making like in whatever, industry you're looking to do, and you see a couple people making tons of money. Usually it just comes from like they've been in the game longer where they now have access, like they just have access to better clients. That's just like, you know, you're not going to go out and have your first client likely be someone who's going to pay you $5,000 a month. That is what you have to do. Like you either have to do cold outreach or you got to make organic content or you got to run ads. There's only so many ways to go out and get those clients, right? And that tends to be the hardest part. And you always think if you send, you know, a couple hundred, couple thousand emails and you're like, shit, I haven't like booked a meeting or booked a client. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, it's going to be probably harder than you think. It's going to take longer. And that's really it. When I first started sending out like cold emails to try to find clients for being a UGC creator, I remember thinking like, oh, there's no way I have to just send out like 50,000 emails for this to work, right? Like there's got to be another way. Like, you know, you see people making videos about like the best DMs to send out to people or, you know, this secret like LinkedIn method or all that, but there really is no better way. So yeah, there's the rant for today. Hopefully you guys like that one. If you're still here, subscribe for me, like the video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.